Guys, welcome to another Ascension reading. If you haven't had the chance, go ahead and take a look at the last one that I put out, where it was mostly an energetic clearing for you guys, as well as some messages that were coming through, some little bit of health information as well. As you know, these messages are for the Ascension minded, so if you are part of the mission-based community, regardless of what your title is, Lightworker, Starseed, New Earth, Conscious Person, or just whatever, if this message is for you and if it's found itself to you, there's something for you. As you know, these messages are also multidimensional, so whether or not I mention something here in the physical 3D conscious space, conscious mind space, doesn't mean that you didn't receive other stuff in a non-physical. So don't be too alarmed if you're like, but I don't get any of this, or nothing seems to be for me. Either way, if you'd like to work more personally with me, we do all sorts of stuff from personal issues to professional issues. That being said, let's jump right in. And as you guys know, as sovereign adults, I'm not a medical professional, I am not a legal practitioner, and I am not a licensed therapist. So please use your mind. God bless your buttons. All right, let's jump in. Oh, actually, first, let's raise the frequency. I'm going to, with your permission, 1 minute, 11 seconds, raise the energies up. All of us, if you'd like to visualize, you can imagine being a cute little elevator, and don't be the elevator, be in the elevator. We're going to rise up in frequency. If you get a little popping of your ears or anything else in your physical body, don't worry. Little fuzzy-headed or light-headed, don't worry, it's just us. And we're almost there. Hold on. I'm letting some of you off. I'm seeing at whatever that level that was, 14, they're saying again, 14th, I don't know what 14th floor, I don't want to say 14th dimension because I don't even know what that language would be like. And some of you are going higher. It might be relating to dimensional stuff, I don't know. Some of you are going higher. I'm seeing 15th, and you're getting off on the other side. They're saying left. Okay, so thank you so much. Somebody is coming in, 12th for some of you. And either way, you are going to be where it is that you're supposed to be in this conversation, receiving the messages at the level that you need them to be, right? As you know, as mission-based people, this is not about who's better or worse, because no one is. We're here serving functions, all right? So, put on my glasses. So let's talk a little bit for 15 minutes here today. Let's talk about what it is that you could be bringing more into your life. Okay, so some of you, I'm getting some issues in the diaphragm area and some issues in the heart space. Now I'm just going to pull those out, so when you watch these videos, you may get some energetic feedback from me about what's going on, and we will, throughout the message, and we will also clear along the way with your permission. But I'm being asked to remind you guys, now I'm talking to your multidimensional selves, which makes sense. I'm being asked to remind you guys that a lot of you who are in the mission-based community have served your time in work time in other realms, okay? You've done this in other realms, other dimensions, other bodies, all sorts of stuff, and you've gone through a lot of feuds. They're saying you've lost a lot of loved ones, you've been engaged in skirmishes and whatnot, where at the end of it you asked, was this even worth it? All sorts of stuff. As I'm saying that, we're just going to go ahead and clear, pulling out like a tray, like a little drawer, out your solar plexus, but they are saying third world skirmishes as well. And I don't know whether that refers to how a lot of people say, quote unquote, third world economics here. It may or may not be, but we're clearing out a lot of these things, because a lot of these things, that skirmishes and stuff that we're clearing, is not just from this planet, it's off planet as well. So we're going to go ahead and clear out the solar plexus area in the front, and not so much the back, but in the front. Some of you are also receiving that clearing in the heart space. I would ask you to look at some of you, the region, if you're a female, I don't want to say any words that are going to get the algorithm all jacked up, but if you're female and you have female anatomy in the chest area, you know what I'm talking about. In the physical, you can go ahead and keep up with your checks. In the non-physical, the aligning anatomy and the non-physical, remember, is going to be related to your ability to give and receive nutrients as in nurture yourself. And that's not the only area, but it's the area right now that we're looking at. So you want to make sure that you're unclogging those areas. Of course, do the work in the non-physical and keep up as well in the physical. But root issues are from the root issues are in the non-physical anatomy, and that's where we're looking at today. As I'm saying that, I'm getting stuff coming out of the throat chakra. A lot of you are at a time right now where you are being asked to, I'm hearing the word explode. That's not what I was going to say, but some of you are exploding, right? In the throat chakra, you're telling people this, you're doing that. Some of you may be exploding in the throat chakra and manifesting not as words, but as things you should have said or wanted to say, whether or not you're aware of it. So please do your shadow work so that you can look in, or at the very least ask your higher self to direct you to paying attention to those places. Because for some of you, that is coming out in terms of rashes on the body, especially around the neck, back, knee, all that stuff. It's coming out in terms of rashes, all sorts of stuff. Some of you may be getting heat bumps in certain areas of your head and whatnot. Remember, heat bumps, it's heat, anger. And this is, so this energy needs to be cleared. So if you've been keeping up with the channel, remember since October, the guides have been saying, if you are part of the next crew, which you are, because they're talking to a specific collective of you right now, you should be doing a lot of your emotional work so that you can be ready for I think now it's like April, May, June, around that area, July, those times. So be ready to move, to get into your positions. And if you are walking around with unhealed wounds and grief that isn't even looked at or acknowledged, and a lot of this grief is off planet, guess what? It is the density that that comes along with holding this grief, and the anger that results, and the guilt and the shame. Actually underlying it all is the belief that you're separated from God, which we know isn't real. But as we make our way back there, we are healing our perceptions so that we can get back there. So the initial feeling is a guilt, and from that comes everything else, the shame, the anger, and all of that. And that's just creating obstructions and literal structures in your non-physical body, your non-physical anatomy. And this is what we're trying to clear. We're moving these things out, and me letting you know about it is bringing it to your conscious mind attention so that you can get started on working on that. Wow, literally talking faster than I can swallow. So sorry if I keep swallowing while I'm talking, which is fine because, I like to keep it quick. But anyway, yes. So for some of you, we're looking at the throat chakra, continuing. Some of you are going to have to make the leap. You're going to have to acknowledge to yourself where you were quote unquote wrong, right? Where you could have done differently and better. Now notice we're doing value judgments like right and wrong, up and down. That's because we're joining you, I'm out here learning too, but the guides are joining us here in this space of duality and polarity where we still have the dream being existing. The dream here, the dream belief is that we can be bad, we can do something wrong, we can do something right? So when we're in this core belief that that can be the thing, we're running on programs that are founded upon that very idea. It's not true, but here we are, and that's why they're speaking to us so that we can speak to you and say, hey, we know that you believe that you're wrong. You won't believe us when we say there's no right and wrong, and our thing is to heal you. And so we're going to join you in your idea of reality, and in your idea, there is right and wrong, and that you're wrong. And your belief in wrongness is making you sick. It's getting in the way of your work. Right? I'm seeing a lot of grief over fallen soldiers. Remember, we're not just talking about on this planet. In this timeline, you may be a cute little florist. Like, how did I stumble upon this? And I collect stickers and stuff. But you didn't know that in a few lifetimes off planet, you were a fierce warrior and you had brothers in arms and you guys, right? So you don't understand. You're carrying all of these energies, and they need to come up. And the only way to do that is to start to forgive yourself. And if you looked at the February reading, which I asked you to, because in the monthly readings is when the guides bring through real heavy ideological stuff that is filled with the information to clear your energy, right? They talk about you believing that you separate and that you've done something wrong. It's not true. So please go back to that reading in February that we did for February, and just try to work through that. We're all doing it. Otherwise, you're going to continue to keep yourself in guilt mode. Look, confirmed. Oh, they just said confirmed. And it's funny because it says confusion, yeah? But it's funny because I just looked down, I realized, oh my God, look, I didn't even look at the cards, right? But except this one, but look, unknown. This is you coming and being made aware of what's going on. Empty. This is what we're pulling out of you, allowing you to let go of, right? Distorted desire, lantern, right? So remember, we've said this so many times, but it bears repeating. Your core belief, and I'm talking core way deep, 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 deep. Beliefs that you started to put in motion before you even individuated in the earth sphere, okay? I'm talking back in the day beliefs. Before earth was probably even formed, right? Where you're off planet. You are having this idea that you've done something wrong. It is existential guilt based on a false premise, the false conclusion that you separated, and a false premise that you can separate from God. That is not true. And when we're going through all these lives and all these universes and all that, all we're all doing is in our own way and collectively integrating ourselves by getting rid of those false ideas. 11 minutes, 11 seconds. That's it. So this is what it means to heal. Now, because you carry that core belief, it is going to inform your existential desire. You have a core belief in separation. Now you have an idea of something being inferior, something being superior, that can even be a case. There's no such thing as better or worse, but you're going to have a belief that if you can see two, one can be better than the other. And of course, you're not going to want to be on the losing end according to you. You're going to want to be on the winning end according to you. There's no winning or losing because it's impossible to have that kind of idea. But by the time we're in this duality, we're no longer in oneness. The reality is you are in oneness, you never left. But the perception inside of that oneness is that, boom, there has been a separation and now there's polarity, there's duality, there's everything. And that you're in this mad rush to stay ahead of the worst thing you can fathom, being in the inferior position. But because you have that belief, it leads to an existential desire to be better than who knows what. That's the details of form: people, places, things, situations, ideas, cultures, planets that you implant on. Yeah. Oh, implants. Yep. Thank you. That's what makes it so easy. This schism, this false belief, makes it very easy for, let's just say, etheric tech to be placed into our fields and all sorts of stuff. For marketing, here we see that to be placed into our fields and our consciousness to what? Divide us. So this is division being forced into more division based off of an unreal belief. And so you have your existential desire to be the best, to not be that horrible thing that I don't want to be. And so I'm going to deny it. And then from that existential desire, then you've got thoughts. Well, I'm thinking like a superior being, and I think that guy's a jerk, and I think I'm this, and I don't want to do mentally. How do I keep up with the Joneses? And it just keeps going on and on. You're going to have emotions set to that. Oh, I feel sad when my name is not on the roster. I feel upset and angry when this and that, when this person looks at that person and prefers them over me. You see how this is generating, it's sickening. That's what it is. 13 minutes, 31 seconds, right? Confusion. And then after those emotions, it also generates gut reactions. Somebody said something, you disagree with it mentally, you're emotionally upset about it, and my gut reaction, boom, is to punch. My gut reaction is to run and hide. My gut reaction is to hide. My gut reaction is to smile and let it happen, but now I'm going to write horrible things on someone's page, right? Gut reactions. Or my gut reaction is to take myself out of this world altogether. You see how that goes? And then with the gut reactions, guess what? It leads to action. So today's message is that there is this sense, it's a false sense of lack that started all this. And that comes from the false sense of separation. You think there's lacking, so you go off to find somewhere where you're going to be happy. But where did you go? And so it leads all the way to now when we're having all these physical issues, confusion of the mind, liking certain things that you don't actually like. Who cares what your nails look like? Who cares? Where did that idea come from? Right? And today, the guides are saying if these messages are for you, it's important to remember neutrality. There's no right or wrong. Just get in, clear your energy field, do your shadow work, and work on your grief so that you can become better able to see this neutrality. Mwah.